Richard with 71 Innovation. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the usual because what I'm really doing is just some personal research on some ammunition, and I thought I'd just document that and be in a position to share it. A little bit of background is I took over our club's high power program in about 2011. One of the first things we did was purchase a couple of service rifle ARs so that we could encourage new shooters to come in and not have to really worry about having the appropriate equipment to get started. So along with that was a decision that we were going to use factory ammunition in it. And frankly, new shooters, the ammunition isn't really the limiting factor in most cases. So what I like to do is just look for affordable ammo that I can potentially use without breaking the bank because we're funding it. We want to really kind of break down any of that barrier for the new shooter to come in and participate. So I kind of keep an eye out for that. And one of the new ones that I've seen here on the shelf here for us locally is this Hornady Frontier, and it's listed as a hollow point match bullet, and these were only 65 cents a round. Comparatively, I've been buying stuff like this to feed through it that can range anywhere from the lowest I've seen is around 45 cents to, again, 65 to 70 cents a round. So I'm going to try some of this out, and I am also going to compare that as a baseline against some match ammo that I load for myself. The rest of the setup for the rifle, just a basic service rifle setup. It's a Rock River upper and lower. The barrel is a Bartline gain twist, and it has a wide oak scope on here. So pretty typical setup. Rifle shoots very well in my opinion. So let's take a look at that and see what it does there. We'll be recording this on a shot marker system. We've got that set up downrange. We're at 200 yards today, and there's effectively no wind. It's about 35 degrees. It's the middle of January, so trying to keep my fingers warm. Let's finish getting set up here. What I'm not going to do is make you watch me shoot this stuff, so I'll finish getting this leveled up and set. I will shoot again the baseline, some of this PMC X-TAC, and then try out this Frontier and see if that's something that I can use for new shooters to come in and really give them affordable ammo to use without breaking the bank. Okay, I just finished shooting the baseline, so these are my hand loads that I use. Short line ammo. Last year I went away from more expensive powder and just decided to stick with Win 748, and then I just used a 77 Sierra Match King on top of that. So set my shot marker here to take a look at the group. Shot a pretty good group except for one shot. Could be me, could have been something else, don't know. Standard deviation was 18.4, and including that shot, we had a whole group MOA of 1.24. Let's see if we can take a look at this here and get a little more information. And we see with this that the extreme spread was 70 feet per minute. Mean radius, which I tend to pay attention to more for service rifle shooting, was 0.32 MOA. If we choose to ignore that one shot and just look at the smaller group, the whole group then shrinks down to 0.81 MOA, and that mean radius is actually 0.26. So that one shot had a pretty heavy influence on it, but that was the group we shot. So from there, I am going to shoot the next batch, which will be this X-TAC. It's the M855 duplicate. We'll see how that goes. Okay, here we are back. Just shot this 10-shot group there with this PMC. That was underwhelming, I think is the best way I could say that. Certainly the velocity was a lot higher than my hand loads, but that didn't translate into anything spectacular. Overall group was 2.94, so almost 3 minutes. Most of that was just one shot out here. Really, though, very inconsistent compared to what I had before. See if I can get the box to show up here. So there we go, looking a little more. The mean radius was 0.86, and extreme spread was 61. Standard deviation was really actually not, terrible, even compared to my hand loads, which was 19.0 here. Mine were 18 and change, so extreme spread was worse, so there's probably a real fast or slow one in there somewhere. At any rate, that wasn't great. I should note, I don't think I talked about in the setup, that in terms of doing this test, I am shooting from a rest. I wanted to test this ammo to see if it was visibly different in terms of a service rifle. So I wanted to use that, but I did want to kind of exclude the human factor as much as possible. I mean, you can't do it exclusively, but this takes away some of that. So really just looking to see how the ammo and the rifle work together with as little influence from me as possible. Okay, for the next one, we will try out this Frontier Hornady stuff and see how that goes. Okay, on the screen here we have results now from that Hornady Frontier match. I have one of the cartridges right here. You can see it is a hollow point, and nicely annealed cartridges. Everything looked good with the ammo. Results wise, so overall, certainly the group is better than that last 62 grain green tip by a pretty good amount. Overall, though, I mean, it was still a 1.83. Not terrible. There was, again, one really high shot. That was the very first shot. It was a cold bore. Don't know if that had anything to do with it, but there were some other shots that were also high, so I think it counts as part of the results. Speed-wise, this one was at 2184. Standard deviation was not that good at 50. So obviously there was a lot of variation, but the grouping was much better. So despite the fact that the X-TAC was only had a 19 standard deviation, the group was terrible. This one's actually much better, so that's good. Let's go here for a little more data. Looking at this, again, overall group size 1.83 MOA, mean radius was 0.54, and the extreme spread was 168.3. So obviously I must have had a really high and a really low velocity in there. I'll have to look at. But overall, not too terrible. That definitely would have filled in the 10 ring quite a bit. I was intentionally keeping all these groups low. I didn't change sights between any of these, so my match loads were down here in the corner. That X-TAC was up here a little bit. These are centered up a little bit more, but still in the 6 o'clock. So definitely some differences on targets between those. But I think I would feel good for a novice shooter to use this for short line practice, or even a match if there is really early on, to be pretty confident that the rounds are going where they're pointing it. And I think ultimately for the new shooter, that's what I'm looking for, is that they don't have to second guess the ammo very much. It's affordable, and they can trust the results and really just focus in on their technique and not get too fussy about the ammo. There'll be plenty of time for that later on. So hopefully this is helpful to somebody else who may be in a position like me, that you're working to bring in new shooters and you want to fund them to shoot as much as you can but not break the bank. I'll try to post along with this video, I'll try to post some results on my webpage at 71innovation.com.